Yeah, welcome to Three Conservative Gimps. We've got a great show for you guys this evening. Something a little bit different. If you notice the logo up in the corner, that's the Three Conservative Gimps. I'm going to change that a little bit to get rid of that border so it'll blend in and it'll look really cool. I picked that logo because that signifies the three-headed horse, which, hey, we're three conservative gimps. Minus one today because, Mike can't make it today. He's got other stuff to do. So we got a great show. We got some great topics today. We are going to talk about the January 6th committee, how they're going to recommend charges be brought forth. And also later on, we're going to be talking about those same idiot Republicans on the committee have decided to move forward to make Puerto Rico a state. So we'll be talking about that. So sit back and enjoy the show. And let's get on going. Let's bring in my 99.9% always on the show, my co-host all the way from Muskogee, Oklahoma. Let's welcome Lloyd Mendenhall. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. How you doing there, Art?
I'm doing pretty good. Love your hat.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, this is one, and it's Ron Lockwood got it for me. He found it, I think, during it was in 2020, and it was during whatever that big bike rally is up there. I forgot what it's called now.
It's called Sturgis.
Sturgis, thank you. My mind went blank. My mind has been blank a lot lately. But anyways, he found it for me and sent it to me. So, and he asked about it, and I thought, well, this is a good place to wear it. So I like the logo up there in the corner that you got.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
So
So I'll change the background a little bit. Maybe I'll put the American flag back in the background or something.
Yeah.
That'll look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Decided to buy the package, $20 basic package, which I bought for the year, and I'll also be using it for my other show, Art Code Drone Solutions.
There you go. Yeah, excellent. So,
alrighty, we got a good group already. We've got Chris Wedgeworth, Grant, Mr. Stay Drunk, Dustin, One Vision Ariel, and we got Mike B, aka the Drone Ranger. And welcome, guys. Welcome to the show. So
Drone Rob just jumped on too.
Oh, Drone Rob, welcome. Good to see you.
Yeah.
So let's jump in. So we got the pardon?
I just got something on my phone just as the intro was playing. Twitter has banned third-party other platforms from being posted on Twitter, such as Facebook and any of the Meta stuff, as well as Truth Social.
Oh, interesting.
It doesn't want any third-party outside links, and but Truth Social was there's a list of them, and it just came across from Truth Social is where I got it. Yeah, it popped up on my phone, and like, okay.
So YouTube won't be able to. YouTube might be on that list. So if I want to post
I think the idea, from what little bit I read, was he doesn't want people to say, "Hey, subscribe to me at Grumpy at True Social or Grumpy at Facebook," or I think he's trying to prevent that type of stuff. But
I see.
He did he took out Instagram, Facebook, all the Meta stuff, and as well as True Social, which, and there's a poll up there on True Social, why did he do it? And right now it's trending 38% or 34% believe that he's afraid of the competition, and the other 33% is he wants Donald Trump's tweets back on Twitter.
Okay.
So, hey, it's the big boys with all the money playing,
Right.
So, thought I'd just drop that little snippet in there because, it just
Well,
popped
thank
up.
you. Thank you for the update there. So let's move right along. So the January 6th committee has decided to move forward with charges against Donald Trump. And one of them is insurrection, and what are the other two? There's like three different.
There's three of them, and I can't remember because I looked at it yesterday. One of them, I think impeding the count, impeding the election.
Right, trying to
results,
overturn the
trying to overturn the election. And I can't remember the third one, but here's the thing with that, they have no actual power. What they can do is recommend charges to the attorney general, and then the attorney general has to go through it and look at it and decide does it warrant bringing charges or not. So it's
right.
It's they're throwing it out, they're taking it out of their hands and putting all the pressure on the attorney general, which I honestly think he's just going to leave it alone because it's, for one, it would allow Trump and his legal team to come in there, and of course they have to have full disclosure about the people that testified, what they said, and so that because they have the right to address their accusers.
Cross-examination.
Yeah, cross-examination, and they have the right to present their side of the story, and which was not allowed in the committee, because this committee was a kangaroo court at best. So I don't think the attorney general really wants to go down that road. I think just the shadow of accusation will be enough to, maybe hurt Trump in the primaries, and and he hasn't, he had a big announcement the other day, really big announcement, made a big deal out of it, and it was kind of a kerfluffle. It was just, nothing important.
It was a nothing burger.
It was absolutely, unless of course you're a baseball card collector, then it was important.
Right.
Yeah. Donald Trump baseball cards, $99 a piece.
Oh yeah, that thing about the NFTs. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
It's
like,
just, yeah.
really? Okay.
Yeah. We've already had a scandal with the big cheese on the NFT where he bamboozled a bunch of investors out of billions of dollars. Yes,
right.
That's
I may have to. No, I'm going to have to take off for just a second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
But you continue on from where we're at, and I'll pick up as soon as I get back. So let me step out of here.
Okay. All right, folks. Yeah. So I was talking about that guy that who basically donated hundreds of millions of dollars into Democrat candidates, to the party and to candidates as well. And he's been arrested in the Bahamas, and they're fixing to extradite him to the U.S. for charges. And evidently, he has some money that's already stowed away in some countries in South America where we have no extradition with. So if he ever gets out of prison, he'll be able to go down there and live very comfortably for the rest of his life. But I kind of doubt that that'll happen because from what I hear, with all the charges, he could face a 115-year prison sentence. So he's not going to be seeing any of that money. Maybe his heirs down the road, maybe 20 or 30 years down the road or longer, unless he ends up like Jeffrey Epstein and offs himself. Before then his heirs will get that money. Well, thanks, Mike. Outside my upper window, yeah. So, anyway, like we said, I hope Lloyd's right about that because if the Attorney General does decide to charge Trump, that it will open a can of worms where Trump's lawyers will be able to, show their side of the story, bring their witnesses, and say, hey, I mean, if you listen to his speech, he said, go down to the Capitol peacefully. And that really takes a lot of emphasis off that he was trying to incite a riot. If he would have said, go down there and stop the electoral college from counting their votes, I mean, that would have been different. But he didn't. He never said that. Because we have this First Amendment where we could, peacefully, not riot, but assemble to show their grievance to the government. So, and if you watch the videos from what actually happened, there were some FBI agents that basically egged on the crowd to, yeah, come on in, and you can actually hear some folks saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't go in there. And that's what happened. So I think this January 6th committee it's not going to go anywhere. It just like Lloyd said, it was just kangaroo court, just to try to prevent Trump from running again. And I mean, if their ideas are that weak, they shouldn't be afraid. I mean, their ideas were that great, so to speak. Then they shouldn't be afraid to run against Trump. They're deathly afraid of Donald Trump because they know that they'll probably lose to him. And what happened in 2022 in this last election, I'm still scratching my head why we did so badly. I think part of it is because with Trump backed candidates, they pretty much all lost unless they were in states that were, red states, and they won. But if you look at Florida, and you saw the Republican Party just trounced, I mean, on their Democrat opponents. And then we saw in Georgia where Stacey Abrams got beat again, and now she's talking about she may run for office again in 2 years. I'm like, really, lady? Give it up. Nobody wants you. You're a two-time loser, and you can't seem to win an election. So Speaking of winners, let's bring back Lloyd Mendenhall. Welcome back.
Whoops, sorry about that. Judy had been asleep, and she woke up, and she was getting up to go to the restroom, and I saw she was about to fall, so I needed to run in there and help her out there, which
There you go.
it happens, you know. It happened on my show tomorrow night. Probably will. Right now, she's fighting the dog over her toast. I had to make her something to eat, too, real quick. And he's trying to grab it from her. Little brat. I was holding their pop can, reached over, I fixed her fresh pop, and she was drinking out of it, and I had my hand there, and so I'm leaning over holding it, and he runs in between my arms, starts licking my face, and I couldn't let go because I was either going to spill the pop or fall flat on my face. So I was like, sneak attack, little devil. Anyways, so losers, you were talking about Stacey Abrams, I take it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. So what was that about her? She's something new in the news?
Oh, she was on some talk show and said something to the effect that she may run for office again. I don't know whether she's going to run for governor. That's going to be in another 4 years, or maybe she's going to run for Congress. I don't know.
Well, I think she does it just to help, when she starts getting low on her fund that she needs to, siphon off to pay her rent or her mortgage or whatever. She runs for office again.
That's
sort
right.
of like
She's
sort of those lifetime college
build up
students,
her grift again.
Yeah. And or if she needs to bribe somebody, and she needs a little extra money, grift and graft both,
Yep. Speaking of grift, Casper Stockham is going to run for the state GOP chairman. I'm like going, give it up, dude. I wish you'd quit running for stuff.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw, and I saw the comments you wrote about why are you even giving the Republican Party's dead in this state. Why are you even bothering?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately in Colorado it really is.
And a lot of people agreed with me.
Yeah. This is a little bit of a squirrel moment here, but talking about these social platforms, like I opened the comment in the show. I have a friend. And it actually has to do with Colorado too. He lives in Grand Junction, one of the guys I graduated high school with, and he has to have 2 Facebook IDs so that he can let everybody know that he just got banned off of his other ID. Steve blah blah, and then Steve, his other name. The second one's called Steve Back, so it's like, but he posts whenever he gets suspended. And what surprises me is, and I wrote this to him, I said, it's amazing that you're getting suspended for, giving your version, or stating the truth as you see it. And he's a conservative, okay, so, and I said, you get suspended for that, but yet when I go onto Facebook Marketplace, I am getting just completely loaded up with porn and, hookup stuff. I mean, they're just literally, sex for over 60, reach out here. And there's those 3 little dots where you
can there on Marketplace.
I just go to Marketplace, and that's just to buy stuff. And these are, ads that just pop up. You don't see it so much on the computer version, but you see it whenever you're using the apps on either the iOS or,
yes.
And there's the 3 little dots that you can click on to report them. Well, I reported about 6 of them in about 6 minutes or less, in about 6 seconds. But when I went to go to the next ones, whatever. But when I went to go to the next one, to click on it, and the next actually 3 that I tried to report, instead of me being able to highlight that, it highlighted the whole thing and started taking me to those sites again. So, and that's when I wrote. I said, it's amazing. It's okay to promote porn on here, but you can't promote the truth as you see it.
Right.
And that's what it is. Strictly porn or prostitution is what I said, and that's what it is. Sex trafficking, and they're doing it right on Facebook Marketplace now. ticked me off. Anyways, now back on track. I
Okay.
just had to give that little squirrel moment.
Back to regular programming.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're talking about the January 6th, and another squirrel moment. If you guys follow Red Eagle Politics on YouTube,
YouTube. Yeah.
they had a thing, the GOP tiers by each state, and Colorado is in the trash category. And I go, you know what? I totally agree with. And then there were several states that were in the non-existent, kind of like Hawaii and
Right.
Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and so forth. The number one tier is Florida.
Florida, yeah.
Because that state, the GOP came out so strong and just stomped on everybody.
The GOP in Florida, the thing that they really did was they had a plan and they followed it, and they embraced the techniques that the Democrats have been using. The Democrats don't campaign on anything. I mean, they didn't get up there and they have their talking points, but it's all the same no matter which Democrat they are or where they're at. It's all the same thing. And they didn't do any debating. They stayed in their basements or in their, and they do one debate, like Fetterman and stuff like that. And it was, and finally the GOP in Florida, and I think every state, every GOP group should follow them because, the GOP in Florida is a mixed bag. I mean, they've got people that's, almost center and then slightly right of center to, not quite far right as some of them, but, but they got such a mix, and they learned how to use that to their advantage, which is something the GOP general party hasn't learned how to do
together.
Yet. They work together, not against each other. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't bash each other like here in Colorado. You got two factions. You got, what they call establishment GOP. And then you have the Rocky Mountain gun owners. And those idiots, they're the big reason why this state is blue, because they just went after probably one of the most conservative guys that used to be in the Senate that's now retired. He's a farmer out in Ray, Colorado. Not Ray, but out there on the plains north of Burlington, near Idalia. Out that way.
Out that way. Yeah.
Calling him a rhino leftist because and it's like, really, this guy he's so Mr. Conservative. How can you go after him like that? It would just boggled the mind.
This is the problem. These fringe groups are the ones that are doing this to us, both on the left and the right. The fringe groups are the ones that have destroyed the Democratic Party, and the same mindset, but on the right are the ones destroying the Republican Party.
Right.
And I mean, you got your hardcore socialist Democrats, and basically, neo-communist, and then you got your far right national socialist neo-Nazi mindset on the right. So you got those, and those are the ones that are, they're all using these catchphrases, such as you can name groups. You got the anti-Trumpers.
Yep.
They, and as far as I'm concerned right now, Trump is old news. He had his time. The Republican Party had their chance under Donald Trump, which I think would have been fantastic had they pulled their heads out of their ass and done what they should have done, and that was support the president of their party.
Right.
And both, and we got so many. And the term rhino it's kind of an outdated. It's from back in 2010.
Yeah.
That term came
Before
about.
that, they used to call them Rockefeller Republicans.
Rockefeller Republicans. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
But the average American, I've said this for years. I've been saying it for years. The average American is sort of, we're
Right
we're either
center.
we're right center or maybe even medium to the right. We're not in that far fringe group, but we're not in
Right.
and
Mhm.
we need to find a way as a party to try and help the libertarians understand that we have something. And that's our problem. We've got a two-party system and we're stuck with it for whatever reason. And we need to
Mhm.
bring in some of those people, those neutral, those independents and the libertarians and stuff.
Mhm.
We need to find a common ground to make us a stronger party, but
Yep.
it's not going to happen.
Yep. Well, here in
Probably have to
Colorado, the Libertarian Party, they don't want to have anything to do with Republicans.
right.
I think one time they actually helped the Republican that was my former state senator, Laura Woods, where the Libertarian stepped down. Well, not stepped down, but basically endorsed her. And then she won.
Right. Yeah.
And then after her term was up and she was up for re-election, a different Libertarian who used to be an ex-Democrat, found out, decided to run. And then we ended up with Dingalinger Zenzinger as state senator. So.
Well, and this is the problem. See, the Republican Party is, and I said, I said this coming up to the 2020 election. I said it coming up to the 22 midterm. I said it's the Republicans' party. It's the Republicans' election to lose, and we managed to do it both times very successfully.
Mm-hmm.
We completely lost the Senate. We don't have. We have a lot to offer, but we're scared to talk about it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
For fear that the old school and sorry, but the Goldwater Democrats or Republicans and the Nixon Republicans, they're all too old to care anymore. Or they're dead.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So we need to. We've got the Reagan Republicans, but hell, even we're getting long in the tooth.
It's true.
We need to have younger people that have a idea of conservative morality, conservative values that
right.
And we need to promote them. We need to quit because it's real simple. Eventually, all them rhinos, as they call them, they're going to die. What are we going to be left with in the Republican Party? It's and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but it's just something that I think really needs to be said. And I did post this show on Truth Social, by the way.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So, as well as on Twitter and maybe I'll get banned from Twitter.
Another nice thing that now that I have the basic plan is I could simulcast it on other platforms like Facebook and
Yep.
Rumble is another one.
Rumble, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've simulcast. I forget about Rumble. Things pop up every so often mentioning Rumble. And I thought, oh yeah, I got an account there.
Yeah, I haven't done anything with that for a couple of years, maybe.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years. Speaking of not doing anything, if somebody likes to reach out to me, they can reach out to me at grumpyvlogger@aol.com.
Oh, AOL.
Yeah, I went to see if I still had an old email. I didn't even think AOL existed, but it's part of the Yahoo network. But it turns out that my original account was deactivated, and because of lack of use, So they asked me to sign up, and so and that was the thing. Chris Wedgeworth says he's still on AOL, and that's because I don't know who it was here a couple weeks ago. I heard somebody talking about AOL, and I thought, so finally, I just thought I'll just use Grumpy Vlogger at AOL.com. So,
Wonder if my Earthlink still works.
oh, I hadn't even thought about Earthlink. My God, that's been, yeah.
I probably
But
got
anyways,
a ton of
yeah.
spam on that one.
I'll probably use my AOL for like when people want to send me video links to put on the show, stuff like that. Like
There you
the
go.
uploads at gmail.com, and I'll just grumpy vlogger, one word, at AOL.com. So
There you go.
but
Alrighty, so let's move along to our next topic, which is the same group of Republicans that are on the January 6th committee have moved along to move forward with making Puerto Rico a state.
yeah,
Don't know if that's going to go anywhere.
it won't. It's all of this stuff they're doing is a lame duck Congress right now. It's just strictly for show to say, see, we try, but now look what's going to happen now that the Republicans have taken control of the House. We tried to pass this stuff, but they stood against us, and now it's all been washed away. So everything we've done is because of the It's a blame game. It's just, and that's what lame ducks do.
Here's my thought about Puerto Rico becoming a state. Now, in the short run, sure, Democrats will have 2 senators from that state, but if you think about the Cubans that normally vote Republican in Florida, if they go to Puerto Rico, they speak the same language, they could transform that state into a red state down the road.
Yeah. Well, isn't Adrian from Puerto Rico?
No, he's from
Or is he from
oh God,
Dominican?
it's on the other side, Dominican Republic, yeah,
Dominican
on the
Republic.
other side of Haiti.
But there again, he's a conservative. And you'll find that a lot of those Hispanic / Afro-Caribbean groups are conservatives.
Right.
And that's what they're going to find out. Yeah, they may get it right now, but I don't think it'll last. And as far as them becoming a state, I mean, there's been so many of the Puerto Ricans that have served the military with distinction, and those guys come here and they become full-fledged U.S. citizens with all the rights and privileges thereof.
Well, they are U.S. citizens.
Well, they are U.S. citizens, but they unfortunately, that's why. But they come here, and Puerto Rico is one of those that's a little. It's always the history of it, and it's a little bit of oddity about. Personally, I'd like to see us take Cuba and bring it in. Get rid of the current. Let's undo the Bay of Pigs. Let's go in there and take them too.
We screwed up by making them independent when we should have made them a territory like Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
But that would have been against because we were trying to say no, we don't want to expand into the Latin American sphere of influence. So but we'll keep an eye. We'll keep Puerto Rico and Guam and the Marianas.
Yeah, and the whole thing. A lot of that was a launching platform for Teddy Roosevelt. Anyways, that's that's. I mean, he had to really petition and work hard to even get that spot and to develop the Rough Riders, which was finally propelled him into eventually the vice presidency and then the presidency.
Well, originally he was Secretary of the Navy.
Secretary of the Navy, yeah.
And then he went and formed the Rough Riders, got notoriety, and then he was McKinley's running mate
president,
in his
running
second
mate.
term.
Yeah.
Because you know who his
Thank
first
you,
running?
Chris. Chris Wedgeworth just also shared us on Truth, and as
Oh,
well
great!
as
Thank you.
and
Thank
he
you.
just found me on Truth Social. So
Right. I think it was Hannibal Hamlin, or was that Lincoln? No, yeah, that was. Yeah,
what's that?
Hannibal Hamlin was McKinley's first vice president. I was
Yeah,
trying to think of Lincoln because he had two vice presidents, and I think
right.
I
I
think
can't remember who his first one was. I know Johnson was his second one,
yeah.
and yeah. But I mean, and McKinley's assassination eventually, it led to Teddy Roosevelt, and
Yep.
and of course the anarchists, or as I like to call them
Oh,
now,
you
the
know what?
Antifa.
I was wrong. It was Hannibal Hamlin. It was Nixon's Lincoln's
Lincoln's.
VP.
Okay, Hammond. Okay, yeah, yeah. All you ever hear about is Johnson, Andrew Johnson, because uh, uh, and Andrew Johnson was all and the part of the reason he was brought in as the VP was to help kind of smooth over the whole into the Civil War,
Right.
and because Johnson was from Tennessee.
Yes.
And when the Tennessee was allowed to start electing their senators and congressmen again under what was that called? Was it Reformation?
Oh,
Southern, anyways, under the carpetbagger system.
right. Oh,
Andrew
that would be
Johnson.
yeah,
Yeah, my mind just
not
went blank on that.
Reformation, but
Yeah.
oh, now I'm having a brain fart.
Oh, that sucks when both of us are having it. But anyways, Andrew Johnson was the first senator to be elected from Tennessee under the new the end of the Civil War, and he had been vice president. Reconstruction. There we go.
I
Reconstruction.
know it started with an R.
Yeah, but Andrew Johnson, I think it was Andrew Johnson. I believe came back as a. He may not have. I'll have to look that up because there was something about, and I was thinking, or maybe it was Johnson's running mate. I can't remember now because Johnson was also the first president impeached.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Chris is 62. Oh, my memory is a lot better at 62 than it is now.
What state came into the Union under Grant in his first term? Or was it second term, I mean? You
Colorado?
should know. You grew up there.
Yeah, I was going to say Colorado was in 1876. Yeah, I was trying to think when Grant was. I couldn't remember exact terms of office. I had to stop and think.
Yeah, he was from, let's see, 60, let's see, 60, he finished out Lincoln's term. Yeah, Lincoln just got reelected, and then he was assassinated. And
yeah,
then,
Johnson finished out Nixon. Yeah, you said Grant.
God, I'm all over the place.
Johnson finished out Nixon's term, got reelected, and was impeached, but was not removed from office. And then Grant ran after Johnson.
Yes, right.
And Grant, yeah. So it had been, let's see, 1864, 1868. So what, 1872, I think.
Right.
Grant, and that was his first term, and he was reelected to his second term, which is 1876, and that's when Colorado became a state. That's why it's called the Centennial State.
That's right. Alrighty, so getting back to Puerto Rico, so so that opened. I like what you said. I don't think he'll go anywhere because after a new
Yeah.
Congress comes in, that'll get stalled out. And I think the last time we asked Puerto Rico if they wanted to become a state, they said no. We like it the way it is right now because they don't get taxed because
They're a
they get
territory,
the
not a state. Yeah.
welfare, but no representation. But yeah,
Yeah, it's
they get all the welfare programs without putting any money in.
right. And I don't think they don't want to become independent because that would require them to have a monetary system in place, which means taxes would go through the ceiling. So they're going to vote against it. As I said, I think they'll stay where they're at. And
Mhm.
as like you and I were talking just before the show, the whole reason these Democrats are doing this, or this particular Congress is doing this, is because they want to show how much they finally succeeded at doing something. But then when it all gets flushed down the toilet after January, they can turn around and say, "See what we tried to do for you," and the
Mhm.
Republicans just threw it all out. It's a
Mhm.
good lame duck game. You do,
Mhm. Also,
uh,
and if they did become a state, then that's two senators, and then it'll be two more senators, and that'll lock up their power for a long, long time.
yeah, yeah,
Which
yeah.
will, yeah.
And I'm not sure that the Puerto Ricans would like that because they, as we've talked about, they tend to be conservatives, and this is the thing. The Democrats are thinking about all these coming across the border.
I
Uh,
looked at their legislature, and they have several parties. They have the
yeah,
Popular Democratic Party. And they have
right,
12 seats, and then there is a new Progressive Party. And they have 10 seats, and this is in the Senate. And then
right,
there's Puerto Rican Independence, 1 seat. Project Dignity, 1 seat. Independent, 1 seat, for a total of 26.
yeah.
And
Well,
in the
I
House,
think
you have the same group. You got Popular Democrat Party, 26. New Progressive, 21. Citizen Victory Movement, 2. Puerto Rico Independence, 1. Project Dignity, 1. Independent, 0. Vacant, 0. Total of 51.
yeah. Well, maybe they may not be as conservative, because that's the whole thing. Conservatism, and a lot of the younger people is because we started losing, you know, our generation, the hippies, you know, the
Yeah.
those of us, the baby boomers, and the ones that, you know, uh, what is it, drop out, check out, or whatever that term was,
Yeah.
drop it,
Drop in,
sit
drop out, tune
out and
out,
check out, yeah,
check
whatever,
out. Yeah.
yeah. That we were all about the getting away from and which is really funny because we taught we were all about getting away from the man, getting away from the government, the big government. In a lot of ways,
Mm-hmm.
the hippies were more conservatives than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Nixon got elected as a Republican, because he was anti war, and
Mm-hmm.
at the time, and he was going to get us out of Vietnam, which he did,
Mm-hmm.
as best he could. And, but we grew up teaching our children to be free thinkers, to be independent, and to understand that this goes back to the whole free love, everybody's equal. That's where we were conservatives when it came to a lot of things, but we were very liberal when it came to other things.
Right.
And the
Think
the
outside
liberals,
the box. Those.
yeah, and we taught our children to do that, who are now in their 40s and 50s.
Mm,
Uh, and they have kids that are in their 20s.
right.
Okay, and those are the
Whereas
kids that.
morticians think inside the box.
Yes, they do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good. That's the thing about morticians. They They think inside the box, and then gravediggers, they're the last ones to let you down.
Yep, that's right.
Well, I could go with mortuary jokes all day. I have an uncle who was a mortician, so I
Competition is stiff.
yeah.
Another
Yeah.
thing about Puerto Rico is they have a pretty big military influence. You got
Yes.
the Air Force base there, and then you have the naval station there. Not as
Yeah.
prevalent as it used to be, but they still have a pretty good
Right.
presence.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
without the military being there, that's their biggest chunk of income coming into the. That's another reason why they don't want to become a state, because then
Got to answer Chris Wedgeworth because everybody's dying to get in.
right. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because they put a fence around the cemetery.
Because everybody's dying to get in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My
you know how
dad,
many people are in the cemetery?
let's say that right. Do you know how many
I mean,
dead people are buried in the cemetery? Yeah.
All of them.
All of them. Yeah. Yep. My dad did
Mm-hmm.
that to me. We were driving down. God, I was in my 30s and yeah, Chris. as I said, my uncle was a mortician, and I actually had intended to become a mortician, and that was what my goal was to become a funeral director.
Director, term. Not the embalmer and go in.
Well, in Colorado, you have to have so many hours as a funeral director and so many hours as an embalmer to be licensed in the state of Colorado. I think it's 20. You have to direct 25 funerals and embalmed at least 25 bodies. That's what it used to be back in the 60s.
Then you had to, put the depending on if they wanted to be buried with an open casket, then you had to doll them up and.
Well, and that was part of the embalming practice, was the makeup and the preparing all body preparations. And a lot of times they had hairdressers that came in to do it, and makeup, makeup artists or beauticians would come in. There are beauticians that work strictly for the funeral services, and because it's just part of the. Anyways, we digress.
Yeah, let's get back to politics.
Let's bury that subject. Yeah, let's bury that subject.
Yeah, so to speak. So speaking of burying, I don't know if you folks that are watching. One of our live streams got yanked by YouTube for misinformation. And
I saw that on which channel?
This channel.
On this one? Okay, we must be stepping on.
It was the one about the attack on Paul Pelosi.
Oh, I barely remember any of that. That was
episode 30, and I think we're at 37. So that was a couple months ago.
Yeah,
and and that was the title of the show. I thought, hey, let's be truthful, and I wanted to use that because that was a hot topic at the time.
Yeah, at the time,
and it was
and there's a lot
right up there in analytics. That would draw people in.
Well, that means that we have touched a nerve.
Yes.
So that's and that's fine. That's fine.
Or we have a mole from my other channel who doesn't like us. Who decide, hey, screw him.
Yeah, but that sounds more like it's a typical YouTube algorithm. Have you appealed it by chance?
Yes, I did, and they said, no, we're still not gonna.
Really?
Yep.
So does that count as a strike or?
Oh, they just, well, yes, because if I do it again, then my channel could get shut down.
Really? All the crap we talk about, and that's the one thing.
Right.
That just goes to show you the influence of the Pelosi's.
Yep.
Hope we don't get this
true.
one pulled, but that's there again. This is the whole argument of freedom of speech.
Yep.
And speaking of that, we had the suspensions of those journalists by Elon Musk this week. The oopoo hit the fan.
And why did he suspend those people?
Because they allegedly they revealed his location to where he could be attacked of not only him but of his
family.
child, his family,
Yep.
and while he was with him, and it's one of those, and I think what I understand, it was related to the flight they were on or where they were flying, and and there is
He didn't
a
want to
perfect
end
example.
up like what happened with the Trump cabinet being harassed at a restaurant or
Right.
Yeah.
But apparently, it had to do with the flight he was on, and where he was located at the airport. He was getting ready to take off on a flight, probably a private jet, but whatever. This goes to show you why remote ID is a bad idea. I just thought I'd throw that in there for the heck of it, because we are dealing with that now. I think it's official that we have to start using it now.
Yep.
But yeah.
So yeah, and that's what's going on. That's why he.
That's why he did it. And I don't know that because, and that's the thing, freedom of speech. Where do we draw the line at freedom of speech and privacy?
Right.
Or hate. There has to be, and I've heard this recommended that he should probably set up an independent review board to go through this, but he needs to keep an eye on, because he certainly doesn't, need like we had in the past, because it looks like, we definitely don't need the influence of the FBI.
Yeah.
As we've had, if you've been keeping up with the files, the Twitter files that he's been dumping.
Right.
They've been pretty well involved with just, and that's probably where the whole thing about this channel getting that one removed was, because we mentioned Pelosi and talked about it, and
I didn't disclose his location or anything. It was just an opinion on what happened,
and that's
it was
the
news.
Yeah, it was news, and that's the problem, though, is when you got politicians that, I mean, how could you not know his location anyways? I mean, it's been all over the news. They've shown pictures of his house. Everybody knows where they live. If they wanted to, they could find him, and that's, but that's the kind of stuff we don't want. We don't want doxing. We don't want any of this stuff. We don't want we don't need swatting and all of that stuff. That's dangerous. But to be able to report as being a conservative, to being able to report something that's in the news, yes, Chris, Merry Christmas to you too.
Merry Christmas, Chris, and to everybody in the chat. Merry Christmas. Oh, by the way, this will be the last show of the year.
Last show of the year, yes. Yeah, because next Sunday is Christmas.
Yep, next Sunday. Yep, and the following week will be January 1st.
New Year's, January 1st. Yeah, yeah. And I will be doing my annual Christmas show tomorrow. Good night, and I'll probably find something in the closet I can give away.
Cool.
Be doing some giveaways, and
awesome. I did some giveaways Mike Rennick won the body cam, and
Okay.
that's on its way. Chuck won the toffee, and Ronnie of God Bless America has got the Garmin. I just need to get his address and get that out to him.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Uh, I'll have to. I'm gonna have to get in touch with you after the or talk with you after the show. But yeah. I didn't watch your show last night. Judy was having one, and we've been our nights and days have been we're completely screwed up right now. Fortunately, my house hasn't gotten much dirtier since Thanksgiving, so my house is pretty much clean. The only thing I got to do is tomorrow I'm going to put the tree up. I was going to do it today. I realized I got to move a little furniture from when we did Christmas, and move some stuff where I put the tree. So
You got
I'm
little
just put.
furniture? You got midgets living there?
Yeah, we do. It's all set up for when you come to visit.
There you go.
Yeah, my buddy Gus, the dummy. I was talking with him today. I was doing a video and he was talking and he saw that got the campaign stuff here and
Right.
so you're making another run. He says he asked would he be my running mate, and I had to break it to him that you are my running mate.
Thank you.
His comment was, "Why the hell is Art?" He says, "Why the hell is he your running mate? We're both the same height."
Hey, Doug Paulson, good to see you.
Hey, yeah, excellent. But yeah,
All
so
right, well, we managed to do another hour. Boy, that just flew by. I want to
it
thank
goes by
everybody in the
fast.
chat for coming. You have a wonderful Christmas, and we'll catch you on January 1st. Take care and have a great Christmas. Hopefully, you'll get all the stuff that you want. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.
Goodbye.